Hello everybody, you know what time it is. It's Wednesday and today I have a new video for you guys, and the video is the sad truth about being black in Germany. My personal experience and opinion. But before I get into it, a big thumbs up to all my new subscribers. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe so you can see more of me. So let's get into this video. So this is my personal experience, the sad truth about me being black and living in Germany. And I'm going to start off with my first experience, which was quite shocking for me, but it was like a sad experience for me. So a lot of times when I go to parties or events and I meet people and we're just trying to communicate, I realize whenever we get to a point where we're talking about school and all of this stuff, and I say that yes, and they find out that I'm educated and I went to school, and the reaction is always like, really? And that for me is, it's kind of weird, because I'm like, really? You wouldn't think that I would be educated? Like, for real? I've experienced this a lot, and at this point I'm like, it's really sad, because one of the things I know back home in Nigeria is parents, I mean the society, everything, it's like education. You have to be educated, and most of the times when you see someone from Nigeria is where I come from, who's not educated, it's mostly because they can't afford it, or probably they prefer to learn a trade. But it's not like we're not told to go to school. We do go to school. We have schools there. But it's such a sad experience here in Germany. And worse off when they find out that you schooled abroad or you have a foreign certificate. And then they just go like, really? And I've experienced this a lot of times. And I'm like, wow. I think it's kind of similar to when, you know, like in Nigeria, people who've never been abroad would be like, thinking that when you're abroad, the money's on the tree, you just pluck it. I think that's like the kind of thinking, because they've never been abroad, so they don't know that you don't get money off the tree, you have to work, you know. I think that's the same thinking with the people here. My experience here with Europeans, Germans, it's like they've never really been to Nigeria, so they don't even know that we have schools and that we get, you know, we're educated. So that for me was a really, really sad experience. Another sad experience I had, again, is also my skin color. Now this is a personal one, because for me, I am African, and you know, for an African being in Europe, especially Germany, we're not like a lot, there's not like a lot of Africans here. I mean, in the big city, Munich, you would see a couple of African people, but compared to England, because I've been to London a lot, compared to London, you see a lot of people, central London, you see a lot of Africans, Nigerians, speaking your language. I mean, you wouldn't feel out of place. But here in Germany, it's not like populated with Africans, so it's always like weird when you go somewhere and you don't see a lot of people that's your color. Yeah, so that's like a sad truth. And it's worse off when I go visiting my in-laws, and I mean, they're amazing people, but back there, you don't even see, I mean, like, if I go visiting, like, I give you a scenario, if I go visiting for a week, I probably see one African, just one time, one man, just one person, one day. And that's really weird. So most times when I'm going out, I go out with my husband or my husband's family, that's my in-laws, because I would just not feel comfortable if I'm like all alone by myself, because I'm just going to stand out. And that's a really sad truth for me. But in the city, it's not so bad. But I mean, you're coming from Nigeria. There's a lot of black people like you, Africans like you. You don't expect that much here in Europe. But if you've been to London or America, you would understand what I'm saying. You see a lot of people that's your color. But here in Germany, it's not so much. And that is really a sad truth for me. Another one that is like a sad experience personally for me is coming from Nigeria. We speak English. When I got to Germany, they don't speak English. I mean, they speak English, but it's not their general language. They're Germans. They speak their own language. So it was a huge shock for me, and that's a sad truth, because sometimes, you know, when you learn a language so that you can communicate, but when you haven't, like, you know, it's going to take it's a process. When it's not your language, sometimes you don't get the humor in what someone say, or the joke, or sometimes people are already laughing before you get the joke. And that really happens to me a lot, and that's like a sad truth, because sometimes I can't even express myself completely, because the words, I don't really know how to use them yet. I'm not so familiar with them, and if it was in English, I would just be going. And if you're someone who's very expressive and talk like me, it's a challenge. So that's a sad truth for me. It's the language. Actually, it's not a bad thing, because you obviously, to enjoy the country, you have to learn the language, and you know, it's accessible to learn the language. But it's a sad truth, because I'm coming from an English speaking country, and this is not an English speaking country. They do speak English, but it's not their general language. The other sad truth, and I think this is the fourth one now, is definitely the fact that getting my African food is so difficult. I mean, you can only get it from an African store. And the thing again is when you get it from an African store, it could be like gari from Senegal or Ghana or something like this. Not particularly your own. I know I'm asking for too much, but it's just the sad truth. That's my personal opinion, you know. Being used to having the things you're used to, and then you get here, you have to get something different, even though it's from Africa. It's kind of hard, and it's very, very expensive, which is something that I don't like as well, because it's not nice like that. And compared to Nigeria, I lived in Apapa, and in Apapa we have like a lot of things that are like European friendly, and you know, like their food. We've got their cheese, their ham, we have it in the goodie store. And there's a market in Apapa called Ajori, and that market sells a lot of things like pastry, so many kind of things you can use to cook. So when back in Nigeria, when I see a lot of Europeans in the market, they're shopping and they can get their stuffs easily. Here in Germany, I can't get it in the market. I mean, like a farmer's market, I can't even get it. And even if I go to the normal store, like the goodie store here, which is like Penny or Ravy, I still can't get it. You know, I only can get it from the African shop, and most of the times it's either sold out, so expensive, and probably not even the one that I'm used to. So that is a personal sad truth for me. Sad experience. But then my final one is something also personal again. Now, African, we have dark cocoa. We have like so many shades. Dark cocoa, caramel, chocolate, and for a female, which I am, you want to do your makeup, you want to get your products, your foundation. Oh my God, it is so difficult to get my foundation for my skin color. And I think a lot of African girls here in Germany can relate to this. I don't know if you have the same problem. You can share it, write it down below. But this is a problem for me. A lot of times when I go to the drugstore, I see a lot of shade and they're not my shade. And when I even see my shade, it's usually for contour, like a lighter skinned person just use that to contour. Now, if that's my foundation, if that's what I want to use, I can't contour because I don't have another darker shade to do it with. I don't know if you're getting me. So usually I would have to do it online, or when I go back home to Nigeria to visit, I would have to buy my beauty products, and which is crazy because we don't really manufacture this in Nigeria. We import them. So it would be nice if they import the stuffs here in Germany, but it's really, really difficult. You can't just go into the drugstore and just see your foundation, your skin shade or your color shade foundation. No, you can only get this when you go to a high-end store. For sure you will see it, but it's really expensive. Now that is a sad truth for me. And basically that's all it is for me in this video. If I come up or I find out or experience any other one, I would definitely do a video like this and share with you guys. If you want me to say something about Germany, maybe you have questions, you can write it down below. I will reply and I will do a video for you. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, give it a big thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe, share, and follow me on Instagram, Inspired by Von. I will see you guys next week, Wednesday. I love you, but you know what? God loves you best. Bye.